Ah, I see you've come back to hear what they once laughed at, to remember the one who stood in the fire while they danced in the smoke. Good. Let's begin, shall we? Because I remember. I remember when you spoke. You didn't scream. You didn't beg. You didn't rage. You simply told them the truth, and they looked at you like you'd lost your mind. They rolled their eyes. They mocked you in hushed rooms. They called you paranoid. They called you delusional. They called you dangerous. They told the others not to listen. You saw what was coming. The cracks, the rot, the betrayal beneath the polite smiles. You saw how the spells were failing, how the foundations were crumbling, how the throne they worshipped was built on borrowed time. But they were too busy laughing at your audacity to notice the walls shaking. You warned them years ago. You said the tower would fall. You said the empire was hollow. You said the circle wasn't sacred. It was a cage. And they dismissed you like smoke in the wind. They thought you were bitter. They thought you were angry. They thought you were looking for attention. But what they failed to understand is you weren't trying to be seen. You were trying to save them. And now they're screaming your name because it all came undone, exactly how you said it would. The rituals broke. The guardians fell silent. The protections failed. And the storm came just like you said it would. And now they're terrified, not just of what's happening, but of how you knew, because they remember. They remember your voice. They remember the way you spoke calmly while the room buzzed with ridicule. They remember the way your eyes saw something they couldn't see. And now that the ground beneath them has turned to ash, they are calling out for the one who saw it first. But it's too late for apologies, too late for council meetings and sacred scripts, too late for burned bridges and backhanded praise. You didn't survive to be understood. You survived to be proven right. You didn't want revenge. You wanted clarity. But now you've become the prophecy they couldn't erase. You've become the warning they ignored, until the walls collapsed, until the spells shattered, until the system turned on its own worshippers. And now they have no one left to call but you. And here you are, still standing, still silent, still untouchable, and they don't know what terrifies them more, that they were wrong, or that you always knew. But let me tell you something. Your knowing wasn't a gift. It was a burden. You carried truth like a wound. You watched people you loved fall for illusions you tried to shatter. You warned them until your voice went raw, and then you stopped. Not because you gave up, but because you realized something divine. Some things must fall, not because you failed to save them, but because they refused to listen. You weren't a traitor. You were a seer. You weren't dramatic. You were early. You weren't bitter. You were divinely alert. And now you don't even have to say, "I told you so." Because their screams do it for you. Their fear, that's your vindication. Their trembling, that's your closure. Because the name they laughed at, the soul they silenced, is now echoing through halls that once condemned you. They are whispering your name in fear now. They are studying your old words like sacred scrolls. They are calling you what you always were. Necessary, prophetic, unstoppable. So walk now, not with rage, but with clarity. You don't need their approval. You don't need their praise. You don't even need their fear. What you hold is bigger than that. You hold the proof. The proof that a voice in the wilderness was right all along. The proof that intuition is more dangerous than armies. The proof that silence is not surrender. It is the calm of a god who already knows how the story ends. You are that god now. So let them scream, let them scramble, let them cry for your name through smoke and ruins. Because the truth is this, you didn't want this, but you warned them. And now, they've earned the silence. Loki, and now, they huddle in corners of the very temples they built. Whispers replacing certainty, panic replacing pride, and every eye searching for a god they once mocked. But what do you do when the god they buried comes back crowned? You don't beg. You don't apologize. You surrender. They thought your silence was defeat. It wasn't. It was calculation. It was restraint. It was mercy. But mercy is not endless. Even divine patience has a pulse. And you no longer owe them explanation. You owe them nothing. You gave warnings. You gave time. You gave chances cloaked in kindness and veiled prophecy. You gave dreams you didn't have to share. And what did they give you? Laughter, isolation, character assassinations wrapped in polite concern. So when they scream your name now, don't rush to answer. Let it echo. Let it burn. Let it crawl down the walls they once decorated with arrogance. Because your name is no longer a whisper of warning. It's a weapon of memory. Every time they say it, they're forced to recall the moment they could have listened and chose to laugh. Let them taste that regret. Let them drown in it, because survival isn't your triumph. Becoming the prophecy they swore wasn't real. That is, and now they gather in ruins built from your silence, calling for the voice they tried to erase. And in that moment, you don't even have to speak. Your very existence is the answer. Your stillness is louder than thunder. Your eyes are storms wrapped in prophecy. So walk tall, with no need to scream, because when you are the prophecy fulfilled, when your footsteps shake the bones of those who doubted you, you don't need vengeance. You are the consequence.